North Node, or Rahu. The Western versus the Eastern perspective, expanding the usefulness of our North Node. Thank you for joining me to talk about the differences between the Eastern and Western perspective on this very important, yet mathematically fictional point. I wanted to also add my own understanding of this energy and how it impacts people's lives. In order, let's discuss what the nodes are and the different perspectives between Western and Indian astrology. I'll also go over what the energy is like and give some examples. Lastly, I'll show you how to use the North Node in your own chart. I'll give just a quick disclaimer here. I've had no success using this point in my personal Western chart, so everything I'm referencing will be tied to my sidereal whole sign chart. But as always, you should use whichever charts you've had the most predictive success with. So what is this mysterious point? The North Node and the South Node are always directly opposite one another. They're fictional points in your chart, calculated by your moon. It's important to have your birth time when doing this type of reading because the moon moves so fast in relation to the Earth. The North Node, in Vedic astrology, is referred to as Rahu. The North Node and the South Node are both equally important, so let's give the South Node, also known as Ketu, its own video. How does Western astrology see Rahu? Well, in Western astrology, we think of this as our future self, or how we're developing. In past life astrology, they would say that this would be how you need to develop for your soul's next lifetime on Earth. I'm hesitant to fully adopt this belief, but there's another way to think of it. You could say instead that this is who you're going to develop into during this lifetime. I find this interpretation more useful personally, but either belief will work for this video's purpose. How does Vedic or Indian astrology see this point? Let's discuss that, and then we'll expand a bit. We'll talk about how these concepts can be merged into one that you can use in your own readings. Vedic astrology sees this point a little bit differently. The way that they see it, we can describe this energy as saying that it's a little bit like Jupiter because it expands things, and it's a little bit like Mars because of the forward-moving energy. But it's a bit more than that as well. Rahu expands everything that it touches and makes everything big. We have an insatiable desire and a subconscious orientation for our North Node things. It doesn't even have to be a conscious choice to go toward it, as this energy will actually come to you. That is why Rahu can either be a great blessing or an unavoidable disaster, depending on our willingness to work on our karmas. Never allow yourself to feel that a planet controls you. My favorite guru, Saidi Guru, would advise us that we make our own destinies. Okay, so what are the similarities between these two systems? What is the point here, and how can I use this? The overall point here is that this is something that will be a major focus of your life. It could be related to your work, your spirituality, and your relationships. Look at your chart. Which house is Rahu placed in, and which sign? Any planet that aspects Rahu will change the energy based on which houses those planets rule. I'll use a chart that I know very well for this example. Rahu is in the 4th house, Aquarius, and exactly opposite Venus. So, the 7th house, 4th house, 11th house, Saturn, Venus, and the Moon will all be relevant here. Okay, so in this example, this person goes toward the home and toward comfort, is creative, and loses track of their relationships at times. Rahu in the 4th could indicate working from home or being in the business of hospitality. On the negative side, though, this person could be overly emotional at times. Remember when evaluating your chart, what the 1st through the 12th houses are supposed to represent. What areas of life? And then, which signs occupy those houses. This will tell you your attitudes towards those areas of life. Each person is different, and your whole chart needs to be taken into consideration when doing this reading. If you're having trouble, I do offer free Vedic North Node readings, but I don't always have that much time, so it's a first-come, first-served basis. Please subscribe, good luck on your journey, and thank you once again for your time.